Okay, what do women actually want? This is the $1,000,000 question. Maybe you've been in this situation before. You're like, what does a woman actually want? And you try to figure it out and you don't necessarily understand, because it seems like they want different things at different times and at different points in their life, or at different points in the dating or the relationship interaction. So what do women want? This is the $1,000,000 question. Today I'm going to solve this for you, okay? And the easiest way that I can explain this is with one diagram. Over here we have what women want and look for when it comes to short term, and what women look for long term. But what I'm really going to show you and demonstrate to you is why a woman's maximum, basically hypergamy satisfaction situation, or almost fantasy, is to meet a guy who has all of these short-term traits that is very attractive, and over time she gets to know more about him and it leads to something long-term. That's a woman's ideal situation. So the reason why I'm making this video is because if I was in this situation for years, constantly waking up going, what does a woman want? Oh, you know, I had this situation with this girl, and I had this girlfriend back in the day, and that girlfriend back in the day, and you start piecing everything together. And as I get older, I'm about to be 30 years old this year, I see things a lot differently, and I see the power in just simplifying things, and I think that this is the best way to demonstrate this. So we're about to dive in, okay? What do women want? This is the $1,000,000 question. Women want a man who satisfies hypergamy. Now, how do you do that, or how do you become that guy? How are you that guy? You have to understand this diagram right here. So on the left we have short term, on the right we have long term. What is short term? What is short term dating or mating? Okay, what is this? Short term, what a woman looks for is anything that entices her. So this is anything that triggers excitement, arousal, and demonstrates sex appeal. Basically, she looks at this guy and she goes, he's hot. You have to be the hot guy. This is super important, so I'm going to explain to you what I mean. Things that entice her, or things that create excitement, it can be a variety of things. It's not just one thing. A lot of times it's a combination of all of these that creates like a unique archetype or a unique identity for that man. So it's typically a combination of looks, okay, looking really good, potentially like a V-taper physique. He looks strong, he looks healthy. Sex appeal, okay, sex appeal can be a lot of different things. This could be, you know, a specific style that you have. This could be a specific, you know, jewelry that you have, a specific car that you have. Short term is things like looks, V-taper, sex appeal, charm, okay, or Riz, okay? If you're charming, you're charismatic, you're able to basically start to almost seduce her with words. She's drawn to you. Another one could be height. If you're really, really, really tall, that could be a factor. Style, the clothing that you wear, the aura that you're giving off, or overall just like a bad boy image. A lot of times women are very enticed by this. So short term, this is anything that triggers excitement. If you want a girlfriend, okay, both sides of this equation is very important, and I'm going to explain to you what I mean. So all these things that I just demonstrated right here, looks, V-taper, sex appeal, charm, Riz, height, style, bad boy image, I want you to imagine that you're going fishing. Let's say you're a fisherman, you're going fishing. You want to catch some walleye, you want to catch some perch, whatever. This is your bait. All of the things right here that is short term, that triggers excitement and arousal, think of this as your bait. This is your bait to get the fish, okay? When you have these things, or you have these traits, or you have a combination of these things, all of this equals her most likely wanting to sleep with you, or she has real raw romantic desire towards you. She views you as an actual like viable option romantically. This is rooted in genuine desire, okay? You have to have this, or she doesn't care about any of these long-term traits that you have. So I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Now what we have to do, okay, is we have to look at what are long-term traits. Okay, what makes a woman actually want to stay with a guy? What makes a woman look at a guy and be like, there's no way I can replace this guy because of his future. There's no way I can replace this guy because he makes me feel safe. What is long term? Okay, long term, when I say long term, What I mean is a woman wanting to be in a relationship with you or stay with you for the long haul. The reason why I want to talk about this side of the equation as well is because I have met a lot of men over the years. Maybe they're players, maybe they're not, maybe they have had a lot of women short term in the past. Regardless, I've noticed that majority of men would like to have a stable relationship or somebody with them long term, okay? They want that consistency and that stability. And women start to crave that consistency and that stability as well. So long term, okay, what is long term? To simplify long term, like even notice the way I'm breaking this down. When I say short term, what is short term? Short term is anything that triggers excitement, arousal, and sex appeal. What is long term? I worded this very specifically. Long term is anything that proves to her that she should invest her future into your future. Oh, just listen to that. Isn't that just perfectly worded? Anything that proves to her that she should invest her future into your future. Women seek value. And women care about being able to associate themselves with your value. Very important to understand this. So, in order to get a woman to want you long term, you need to demonstrate anything that proves to her that she should invest her future into your future, meaning your future gives her a better existence, not a worse existence. If you're a really hot guy and you're able to get laid all the time, but you can't show over time that her future will get drastically better by aligning herself with you, you will most likely lose your woman. Keep this in mind. So what are the things that trigger long term? Number one, I would say would be earning potential, okay, and ability to acquire future resources, okay? Think about this for a second. When you have earning potential or ability, okay, to acquire future resources, what this shows is this shows competency. When a woman looks at you, she goes, okay, if I'm going to invest my future into his future, okay, I need to make sure that myself and our kids don't starve. I need to make sure that this guy's level-headed and is going somewhere. This is rooted in just her survival instincts. She needs to look at you and say, okay, he's going somewhere. Keep in mind, this doesn't necessarily make you more arousing. For everybody out there saying, oh, you know, it's all about money. It's not just all about money. It's competency, okay, and ability to acquire future resources. Completely different. If you just say it's all about money, you're looking at the tangible asset of just, now you have the money or you have the tangible thing. It's not about that. It's the ability to display the personality traits that shows you're competent. Okay, so what does a woman look for long term? Earning potential, competency, ability to acquire future resources, a guy who's on his future plans and he's sticking to it, a guy who's on his purpose, okay, and what this really boils down to is career. The older I get, I see just how important career is, because if you look at any high status guy, it could be a professional athlete, it could be a famous musician, it could be a famous actor, it could be a business owner who's really successful, it could be any type of guy with recognition. It's typically rooted in career. Career leads to identity, okay? This is just a few of the pieces, okay? Another thing that women look at is the internal character traits of the man. Things like masculine frame, okay? Maybe he's kind and he's patient and he's able to protect. He doesn't get reactive and moved off center very quickly. He's a good father, okay? He signals protection. She feels safe when she's around you, okay? Kind and patient. A woman wants a man who is kind if she's going to be with him for the long term, and patient, meaning he's not easily reactive. He doesn't get reactive very easily. He's not quick to anger. All of these things are important if you want a woman to stay with you. Keep this in mind. Now, what is a woman's ideal situation? When I told you at the beginning of this video, what do women want? Women want a man who satisfies hypergamy, okay? This is what a woman really wants, okay? She wants it to start over here, okay? Meaning you have all of these traits over here, okay? That entices her and she has romantic interest. And then over time, the more she gets to know you, okay? Over time, she learns that you have all of these qualities about you. Over time, she learns that you bring all of this to the table, over time. Now, the reason why this is so important is because it has to start on this side. It has to start by her looking at you as the type of guy who's hot, she would want to be with. She looks at you and she goes, okay, that's a good option. Like, he's an attractive man. His aura, his demeanor, like, he seems like he's attractive. This is what she has to see. And then over time, okay, she learns all of these things about you. Here's the thing that guys don't understand. If you don't maximize this side of the equation, you never get the opportunity to demonstrate all of these good long-term potential traits that you have. There's so many men who invest all of their time in competency, earning potential, potentially being a good dad one day, being kind, being loyal, being stable. But the problem is that they have never maximized all of the traits over here that triggers excitement and arousal and sex appeal. You need both. So what does a woman want? A woman wants a man who satisfies hypergamy. A man who satisfies hypergamy brings both of these things to the table. It's both pieces to the equation. So keep this in mind. It starts over here, and then over time she learns all of these good things about you. Listen very closely here, okay? To maintain a woman's interest, the older I get, the more important I see this, okay? Or the older I get, the more this really starts to click. To maintain a woman's interest, yes, career and your future matters. This is why for so many years on this channel I say stay with your purpose, chase your own success, maximize yourself, maximize your purpose, become the best at what you do. Why do I have that message? Because I understand that your future matters. To maintain a woman's interest, yes, career and your future does matter. So if you're not stable, it's going to be damn near impossible to keep that long-term relationship together. Doesn't matter how good you are in the bedroom, doesn't matter how attractive you are, doesn't matter how, whatever. She thinks you're hot, and yeah, she finds you attractive, but you have to remember that when it comes to who she's going to associate with long-term, she wants to see that she should invest her future into your future. So this is what you have to understand right here. If you're not stable, it's going to be damn near impossible to keep that relationship together, that long-term relationship together, because she does not feel safe. She does not feel safe investing her future into your future. Okay? Keep that in mind. She won't feel safe. So how did this start to click for me, or how did I start to put two and two together? Okay, here's how. We have all seen a guy who's really attractive. Like, we've all met a guy like this. Maybe he's really attractive. Maybe he's 6'7", maybe he has a fast car, or he's really good looking, or whatever, and he can get laid all the time. But we've all seen this type of guy. He just can't retain. He cannot retain her interest level. I've seen this myself. I've seen really attractive guys go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship where the woman leaves him every single time. I've seen this. And these are guys who are attractive, or these are guys who can get laid, and these are guys who are attractive. Well, keep that in mind. She doesn't see the long-term characteristics out of him, which means he's failing tests. He's showing that he's not competent when it comes to certain areas. And she's losing interest because he probably does not have masculine frame and has emotional resiliency. So this is super important. I started to put two and two together when I'm like, oh my gosh, I've met so many dudes over the years who are like attractive guys who have no problem getting dates or getting laid, but they just cannot retain the interest level of that woman. So this is the entire game in a nutshell. What I just showed you, this right here is the entire game. I think that you need a very simplified approach to this. The older I get, I see the strength in keeping things simple. So this is the entire game in a nutshell. Without the arousing short-term traits, you never actually get to show your long-term potential. So now I want to talk about this word, the ick. You see women talk about this word a lot on social media or wherever. They'll say, he gave me the ick. That's what they say. When I really started to look at this, I'm like, why does this happen, or how does this occur? The ick, I started to put two and two together. The ick comes when the guy gets this out of order. When this stuff right here is out of order, okay, maybe the guy leads with career or he leads with money. A lot of times it's a turnoff because it looks like he's trying to qualify himself. Or a lot of times when he's super available and super loyal and super kind in the beginning, he's demonstrating the long-term traits, but he has not actually demonstrated the attractive traits in the beginning. And this is why guys get so confused, is because it's like in that guy's brain, he understands all of these pieces of the puzzle, but he doesn't know where to put them. So when do women get the ick? The ick comes when you start to get this stuff out of order. It has to start over here, and hypergamy is satisfied the more she learns about you, the more she gets to know you, the more she slowly gets to peel you back layer by layer and discover your root personality, the more she falls in love with you. So women want it to start off rooted in desire, okay? And what I mean by that is all of the short-term traits that I just discussed, okay? And then what happens is her love grows over time, the more she gets to know you. So the older I get, I realize that the more simple you make this, the better. And one thing that a guy has to understand is anytime you're met with friction means for whatever reason you're not satisfying hypergamy. Friction could be her not replying to your text message, her ignoring you, her not returning phone calls. The way that a guy loses his leverage in these relationships, or whenever, is when he's giving attention but it's not being reciprocated with desire. So what happens when most guys are met with friction, meaning she's not communicating, she doesn't want to call you back, most guys actually try harder. You have to live by this method that anytime you see friction, you're out, you're done. You just quit communicating and it's over. You move on, because what she's showing you is that you are not her hypergamous best. What that means is she has either had options in the past that she finds more attractive, or she thinks she can do better in the future. And because of that, there's nothing you can do. You have to move on, and you have to find a woman who actually sees you as her best option. That is so important. If you like this video, hit the like button. Take this even a step further and join us inside of the community that I built. I've been helping men learn, understand, and master the language of women. I teach this better than anybody, and I believe that I can genuinely help you get the girlfriend that you've always wanted, and you have a really good dating life. That's what I believe. And I believe I teach this better than anybody. Join us inside of that. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.